African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of November 2nd, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. Units of the North Troop Group inflicted defeats on formations of 2 mechanized brigades, an airborne assault brigade, an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Andriivka, Iskryskopshchina, Kondratovka, Pavlovka, and Sadki in the Sumy region. On the Kharkiv direction, defeats were inflicted on units of mechanized and motorized infantry brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Dvierchanskoye, and Okop in the Kharkiv region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost more than 180 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 9 vehicles, and 2 field artillery guns. A radio-electronic warfare station and an Israeli-made Rada RPS-42 radar station were destroyed, as well as 7 warehouses of material resources. Units of the West Troop Group improved their tactical position. Defeats were inflicted on personnel and equipment of 4 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kurilovka, Borovaya, Kupiansk-Uzlovoy, and Lesnaya Stenka in the Kharkiv region. In the area of the settlement of Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region, assault detachments of the 6th Army continue to destroy the encircled enemy group. An attempt by Ukrainian formations to break through to the Oskol River south of the settlement of Kupiansk-Uzlovoy in the Kharkiv region to exit the encirclement ring was stopped. 14 militants of the 43rd Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 3 pickups, and 2 ATVs were destroyed. 3 attacks by units of the 151st and 92nd Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine were repelled in the areas of the settlements of Blagodatovka, Velikaya Shapkovka, and Nechvolodovka. Units of the South Troop Group occupied more advantageous lines and positions. Defeats were inflicted on formations of 5 mechanized brigades, 2 airborne assault brigades, an assault brigade, a mountain assault brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Ivanopoli, Konstantinovka, Seversk, Slavyansk, and Reznikovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 120 servicemen, a German-made Leopard tank, 7 combat armored vehicles, and 6 pickups. A US-made and /TPQ-48 counter-battery radar station, 3 warehouses of material resources, and a fuel depot were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of troops have improved their position on the front line. Defeated personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized, airborne assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 3 Marine brigades, a territorial defense brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements Belitskoye, Volnoy, Grishino, Kodlino, Rodinskoye of the Donetsk People's Republic, Ivanovka, and Novopodgornoye of the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the settlement of Krasnoarmysk of the Donetsk People's Republic, assault units of the 2nd Army continue to destroy encircled formations of the armed forces of Ukraine in the areas of the railway station and industrial zone beyond the railway. Clearing of Ukrainian militants is being completed in the settlements of Natovka and Rog of the Donetsk People's Republic. In addition, the enemy has been expelled from a fortified stronghold in the southeast of the city. Units of the East Group of troops continue to advance deep into the enemy's defense, defeating formations of 2 mechanized brigades, 3 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements Danilovka, Orestopol, Tykoy of the Dnipropetrovsk region, Guliapol, Novozaporizhye, and Uspanovka of the Zaporizhia region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost up to 240 servicemen, 1 armored personnel carrier, 2 armored combat vehicles, 13 vehicles, and an artillery piece. Units of the Dnieper Group of troops inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of a mountain assault brigade and a coastal defense brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements Lukyanovskoye, Stepnogorsk of the Zaporizhia region, Antonovka, and Nikolskoye of the Kherson region. More than 80 servicemen, 12 vehicles, 5 electronic warfare stations, an ammunition depot, a fuel depot, and 2 supply depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike UAVs, missile troops, and artillery of the armed forces of the Russian Federation inflicted damage on energy facilities supporting the operation of enterprises of the Ukrainian military-industrial complex, storage and preparation sites for launching long-range strike UAVs, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 141 districts. The Black Sea Fleet forces destroyed 6 unmanned boats in the northwestern part of the Black Sea. Air defense means shot down 4 guided aerial bombs for reactive projectiles of the US-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system and 283 airplane-type UAVs. Since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 668 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 94,367 UAVs, 634 surface-to-air missile systems, 25,812 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,608 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 30,999 field artillery and mortars, 45,512 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.